dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hi, good evening, race fans. Man, we're live tonight here at Iowa Speedway, and I'm not 100% up on Iowa because, to be honest, we don't do a lot of broadcast on Iowa Speedway, and so really not up to snuff. So maybe throughout the race we'll get some info and roundabout about what this track is. But the one thing I definitely know is the league. We're here tonight with the Great Lakes Cup Series, and these guys have put on a show here these past several weeks, and I tell you, two guys out front have been top notch. That would be Elliott Henderson and RJ Williams, and right now you want to talk about points, Elliott owns it, but RJ's right there along with him. A couple more races to go before the chase starts up. We do have a special race next week, Alex, coming up as their all-star race. It was going to be Eldora, but they have changed it. There's a track on iRacing. I don't know how far back a sim racing you go on PC, but if you remember the Papyrus series back in the day, they started in 1994. They went all the way to 2003. Is that too far back for you, Alex?
Yeah, I was about 6 years old in the 2003 range, so
All right, well, all right. Tell my age a little bit here, but anyway, most sim racers know what I'm talking about because that's actually how iRacing came about. Papyrus went out around after about the 2003, 2004, and iRacing came around about '08 or so. But they used basically the same engine, and it was really much about the realest thing you could get back then, and it was definitely real. It was licensed by it. Do some research on it. It's definitely something very interesting to look into. But they had a racetrack on there. It was a fictitious racetrack. It was an oval, but it was like a 3.5 mile oval track. Yeah, they called it the Super Speedway. Not Coca-Cola Speedway. Super Speedway is what they kind of called it. Well, they have redone it here on iRacing, and that's where they're going to be at. Basically, now, as far as these Cup cars go, I'm not sure the speed. But if they was put the Legacy Cup cars, like the ones before this, or the 87 Cup cars, which are on here, those things could get probably 250 mile an hour on that track. And if you know anything about NASCAR, before the Plate Series, obviously Bill Elliott still owns to this day the qualifying record at Talladega, 212 mile an hour. Those cars were getting 220 mile an hour easily without plates, and that's why they put the plates on them at those tracks. But that's kind of what to look forward to next week. But we got to get through this track here tonight at Iowa. Good, here's these guys are gridded up. Man, I tell you what, Alex, it's going to be a good one.
yeah, I'm right with you. Not knowing too much about Iowa, I'm not fully familiar with it, so I'll just look right here and give you guys the lowdown real quick. So Iowa is a D-shaped oval racetrack. It comes out to 0.875 miles, so 7/8 of a mile is what that percentage comes out to. It says that turns are 12 to 14 degrees progressively as they go throughout, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Backstretch 4 degrees, front stretch 10 degrees. So a nice D-shaped oval here for these guys. The pace car dips down. So we're about to go green, and woo, RJ gets a nice little jump right off the bat.
Yeah, he does already. And like you said, you did say it is less than a mile track here.
Yes, it is. It comes out to 0.875, so 7/8
track
of a
racing,
mile.
basically. And there you go. Well, let's have to see how these guys handle this place here. Frederick Clemmings right there hanging on second place. But you said RJ. There's the man out front. Rumbling pretty good. Daniel Danny. Got Scott Stewart. Now, let me go ahead and give a heads up here, folks. And we've got the inside scoop. Elliot Henderson. We might not see him the next couple weeks, and it's not because of anything going on or anything like that. He is actually going to be taking a little bit of break here for the next couple weeks, which he obviously can afford it because, hey, he's on the track. Now, it does show him out here, but it looks like he's a little bit off the pace. We've never seen him way back in the back right now. I do know he said he might be taking a little break for a little while, so if we don't see him out there, we understand why. Right now he's running in 30th place, so maybe not a short track that he really likes. Again, one of these tracks that really I don't do a lot of broadcasting on. What's up, Wyram? I hope I said that. Wyram? He's pulling posse who is running 27th right now. Yellow flag.
Is that a Ninja Turtles car I'm looking at?
Mountain Dew.
Oh,
Yellow
that's
flag
awkward.
is out. Flag was on, but let's see if we can back. It's in the back here. We'll see if it's anybody's cameras. Off pace or something. Ryan. Hey, man, I know. Way back in the back, too, man. Oh. Caution for something.
Yeah, I couldn't quite make it out either looking at that.
Not sure on that caution, so. All right, early caution early. Slowed down RJ's freshen up front a little bit because he was walking away with it. Daniel Nanning right there. Scott Stewart hanging on in fourth. Now, remember last week, the last 2 weeks, folks, we've had some issues iRacing side. A lot of guys have gotten disconnected. Happened last weekend on the Cup Series, and it happened again on the Truck Series, and they called the race at a certain thing. At first, we said, I believe RJ had won, I think. But then they came up with Sam won. But then they re-looked at it again, and ultimately at the end of the day, Philip Bedford. So, congratulations to Philip winning this past Tuesday. After all that, it was a big mess. I tell you, it was. Feel sorry for the guys in the admins out there. They had to figure that out. But unfortunate thing, and really, you know, down to the wire, you weren't going to make everybody happy on that situation. No matter what they did, because they probably, just my opinion, and it really don't mean anything because we're the broadcasters up here. Unless you would have just run the race all the way out and let it done, and the guys that got disconnected, well, it happens, and it does happen. It's just like guys, man, blowing a motor, or blowing a, you know, something happened with their car. You can't do anything. You can't give them a redo on it. Well, you can on iRacing, but you can't in real life. So the disconnects I always chalk up as those. And unless they would have just run the race on out to 175, probably I think about 20 laps off of it anyways. If they would have done that, yeah, you really wasn't going to make anybody happy by what they were doing at what lap they were going to take, because it was in the middle of green flag stops, and then a caution came out, and I'm gonna be honest with you there, Alex, if you saw what was on it, if they took one lap, actually it was 2 different leaders on the same lap, 2 different leaders on a different lap. It was just a wild window how they did it. So unless they would have just went on out, which would probably been the easiest thing to do. I'm like this. There is no rain on iRacing, and unless there is over half the field disconnecting, which there wasn't, I'll go ahead and go with that. There wasn't over half the field disconnecting. Unless there's over half the field disconnecting, you know, me personally, I would have just said, let's just run it out of 175, and unfortunately, it's what it is. You know, blown tires, motors happen in real life. But just like us here, Alex, man, on the broadcast, you know, we can't control Mother Nature, power outages, all that good stuff. But nonetheless, Philip won it. It was a good race. Hopefully tonight goes good. Basically, is what I'm getting at. Keep our fingers crossed and our toes crossed too as we go back green.
Yeah, and talking about that, I just hope for the sake of not just the admins, but everyone in the league, that there isn't any of those issues, because looking back at both of those races, it's almost exactly at the 3/4 of the way through mark for some reason. And it wasn't just in this league either that iRacing was having the problem. It was across multiple leagues.
That was.
So
actually,
so
the Pro Series that same night there, matter of fact, sorry about that, I didn't mean to cut y'all, but the Pro Series, because they were running the Tuesday night, the same night we were running, I actually had the same thing with the pro drivers. Now, iRacing's not going to call a race. They're not going to sit and say, oh, yeah, we're having problems. Hey, you get disconnected, you get disconnected. That's on you. And, you know, they let it go, but it was happening on that end, too. So I kind of fair on the side of what iRacing did a little bit, but, hey, like you said, best for it.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I hope that doesn't happen again. We never hope that stuff happens. We wish that these guys could have a nice, clean race in its entirety. So, excuse me, but these guys, as we're back under caution now.
I think we found what this one was. This one might have been Brandenburg Cuss. Matthew Daniels. Happened to him right here. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's who it is.
On the low line. 75. I just don't work at this track. Just lost it. Bad place to lose it because lost it right in the middle of 3 wide and it. Ooh, iron machine comes flying in. Oh, that's Jacob Haynes. So short track racing here a little bit already. Taking a few drivers. Place is tricky.
Yeah, that's how short track racing is, though. I always like short track racing. I mean, I pretty much consider anything under a mile short track. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got Martinsville and Bristol, which are both half a mile, and those are both very exciting races in themselves. I think it's the shortest one they go to on the circuit. But this is still pretty short. 7/8 of a mile ain't much longer than that.
It looks big though. If you look at it, it kind of does look pretty big. I mean, it gets just because the bankings in the turn and how wide it is. It's actually wide for a short track. And I got a fan out there, Austin.
Yeah, that's Austin. One of my very good friends from back home up in Illinois.
Oh, okay, cool.
Went to high school with him and all that jazz, and still one of my good buddies to this day. So, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, there you go. As always, man, appreciate everybody tuning in, likes and shares out there. Definitely appreciate it as we're getting set here to go green flag. Back again, R.J. Williams, the man up front, controlling it here for the Cup Series tonight. These guys are a pretty good one. Usually on short tracks, sometimes it either goes one or two ways. It either goes really, really good, really, really bad, or the first of it goes pretty bad to get a little guy settled down, to go pretty long, and then the end of it, who knows what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what you're going to get with short tracks. Like you said, it'll either go real, real smooth, or it'll be, I'll just use the word choppy, caution ridden is how I'll say it. Choppy and caution ridden, kind of like how it's been so far. But this is only the second caution, and we're a tenth of the way through the race. So, but I want to hit on that connection stuff. I was talking to a couple of the admins throughout the week about how, and that stuff caused, I'll just call it a big headache in the league. Yeah. That's why I'm hoping none of that happens, really, because the amount of stuff that was talked about, brought up, different situations, all that jazz, and that's why this evening we have where they're saying if it goes through that again, then they're just going to continue the race.
And that would be, to me, and I'm glad there are on that, because obviously we don't have rain where it's a red flag. And yes, and in real racing, if it's over halfway and it rains, yes, that's the only time a race would ever get stopped or canceled. Even if there was a bad wreck that red flagged the race, it's going back green, okay, because they're going to clear it. I mean, the racetrack would have to blow up or something like that. It would be the only other way. But for guys that would just drop out, and then the reason I say is we'll go back green here, you'll see RJ take off real quick. But, like you just said, I like that, because if it happens 3/4 on the way in, and it's only happened, let's say, to 7 or 8 right, unless it's half the field or more is gone. I'm really an advocate on just let it go. Things happen in racing, and that being online, there's things that you just can't control. Obviously, you can't control iRacing. You can't control what happens on your end. Neither can I control what happens on the broadcast. We could be halfway through this thing here, and all of a sudden I lose it. There, Alex, and there's nothing done. As a matter of fact, I've had that happen. And guess what? The race still went on, but broadcast didn't. But nonetheless, like you said, we'll have to see. Hopefully, I'm like you. Hopefully we don't go through it. Hopefully everything runs smooth and clean here tonight, and everything's got straightened out, and we're good. Got a good race so far, though. Battle here, though. Lee Tank. It almost looks like in a tank machine, don't it?
Yeah, that's a little tank, what we call the car. His tank car, whatever, because it's got the colors of it. That
it does.
That olive drab green right there. Definitely tank-esque hue to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but something that got my interest a little bit. Jacob Bransky ain't running the same hippies chippies rap that he normally does.
Oh, he's not.
He's got something else going on.
It is that Varoom. Yeah, VaroomApparel.com. It says it down at the bottom. So
Yeah,
maybe
Vroom
that's
Apparel.
a sponsor he's got hooked up with or something, or somebody just enjoys. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of, though, again, going around the wild style paint job that he's used to, nonetheless.
Yeah, normally he's running that. Joe likes to use psychedelic. I like to use the cotton candy looking machine because it's got the blue, it's got the white, it's got the pink. You know, typical cotton candy colors. But this one's still looking like it's definitely a looker. I'll tell you that. It's got nice lines to it, nice colors, and
Track right now, I'm just watching him going around here, there. Track right now is giving me the feeling of what Richmond would be. Coming out of these turns and it's pushing you straight up the track right there. He's able to dive it down, not all the way down to the line, but right there 3 and 4, it looks like it wants to push. Yeah, right there, all the way up. Just the same way it does at Richmond coming down the front stretch there, which really is not much of a front stretch, it's kind of a D shape. But it tends to want to push you up the track a little bit. And that's kind of what it looks like coming out of 4. These guys are dealing with right now. They're not 100% going all the way down low. Now he's going to try the low line right there to kind of stay one step up, but you can see it. Definitely won't know. It's a little tight coming out turn 4.
yeah, it does. And while you're saying that, I was just trying to pay attention to the length or so of the backstretch, because this track it looks deceivingly larger. And then, like you were saying, because it's under a mile long, so, but those turns kind of make it a little bit bigger, you know, and with that D-shaped front stretch, and like if you're watching right here, who is that, Shane, right there? Just watch how short this backstretch is. He's already off at 2 right here, coming down, and he's already into turn 3 right here. It's a really short backstretch, so, looking at this and seeing how all that jazz is, as an Adobe thing just came up. Hopefully I still got you.
Hey,
Yeah. Okay. I was like, this thing just popped up and closed my window really quick. But
here's you're going to get a good shot right here to really show you what the track looks like. I always call this the Blimpy Cam, and everybody loves Blimpy. Like Blimpy out.
dude, I love Blimpy.
All right, well, we call this the Blimpy Cam on OSR Network. I haven't done it in a while. I don't think I've ever done it with you here on the broadcast. Well, I call it the Blimpy Cam, and I always throw out the Blimpy Challenge. Let me tell you something. I got a perfect challenge for you, and this will make sure if you show up again on Tuesday, I know you didn't do the challenge. If I don't hear from you for the rest of your life, I understand. Go up to your significant other, your love, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, whisper in her ear and go, baby, you look mighty blimpy fine tonight. Hey, if you took the challenge and like I said on here from you, I understand. Come back next week. We got you. That's the Blimpy Cam, though. OSR Network. Online simracing.network.com. Your home for fun.
That's funny.
I used to do them a lot on every race. With the Blimpy. Everybody loved the Blimpy challenge. Always asked for it. So. I kind of just came up with my little own thing there with the Blimpy. Several different ones.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking as we got a nice group of about 7 cars right here, pretty much in a line. I'm trying to see which line is working better in the turns, because I mean this is a short track, so but it looks like that maybe.
It looks really one groove, and it's kind of that middle groove is kind of where I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
They're darting down. Looks like you almost had to angle it in. Watching right here with a different angle here. Obviously, that's not going to be the ideal lane that he's in. I think what the one up there, William Barb, green machine up there is where you need to be. Because you see how that car just kind of slides up, just like Richmond on the front stretch there. Carter wants to go up, and then he's going to try to maybe angle it. He went in a little bit high right there. But, yeah, it looks like one groove up the track.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that middle groove and maybe how Shane made it work right there trying to pass. William Barb right there and kind of ducking it down through about halfway through the turn. So maybe that'll work out in the end for passing. Shane looks like he's doing some pretty good work right there as Elliot's getting in the mix right here, and he's back to his normal looking machine. So
yeah, and he's just being careful. I mean, he's back there in the middle. He could get caught up in anybody. And you see right there just how tight these cars are trying to go around somebody. He's just being careful. Try to pick them off one by one. Elliot is starting in the back. And meanwhile, though, this man right here, he's got it figured out. R.J. Williams. He's hoping that this thing stays. Now, he's definitely going a little bit lower than most guys. That's what line he takes here.
yeah, he's running that bottom line pretty much the entirety of the turn.
See that?
Seems to be working for him, though, is unfortunately he has had a rough week. I'll tell you that.
Now he'll let it grind. Yeah,
twice.
he's had a tough one. But you'll see right there, kind of coming up through the front stretch, where that front stretch is kind of lead off a little bit, kind of more like an oval style. See, that car just wants to shoot straight up of it, so he's letting it kind of glide. But yeah, he's doing definitely a lot lower than a lot of guys are here.
But he is making it work anyways. He's sitting hovering just around a second and a half ahead of Daniel Nanny right there in second. Frederick Creedman's right there in third. So this is kind of how it was last. It was a little wobbly right there, but anyways, he's sitting maybe about, I don't know, what is it, 10? Nah. I'd say maybe about 10, 15 laps shy of when he might be debating on coming in for a green flag pit stop.
Lap 60 to lap 70. Fuel window.
Gotcha. I'm looking at it right now as I'm looking up the
75% fuel. They got 3 sets of tires. I do like that. Obviously, if it goes, that's pretty good with 150 laps there. That kind of brings a little bit of strategy and whatnot. Dual rule.
I understand the first part of that sentence you're reading, but the second part's a little confusing to me, so I just kind of let it be.
Well, I'm letting if stop the race. New rule: we will not stop the race due to internet issue. Okay. If a caution comes out, we will delay the caution until everyone is back on the same lap as where they were running. Basically, I guess if like they get disconnected and are able to get back in, they're obviously going to be several laps down. If a caution comes out after that, they can. You can manually delay the cautions. You can keep, putting the caution back out as a manual. And they can wave these guys around and get them back on the lead laps. Hey, that's an admin call. I'm not even going to get into that there because that's just an admin call. But let's put it in reference of what it would be in real life. So, in other words, if I blow my motor, I go pull my backup car out. If a caution comes up, if half the field falls out, blow motors, and go pull my backup car out in the caution and go back out there and get on the lead lap. It's kind of how it would work in real life. Let's just put it that way. But I was there in the virtual world. So, anyways, let's just pray nothing else happens like that. We got to even worry about it. And this race right now has been a good one. You got Daniel Nanny, Frederick Crimmins. Team-wise, teams for a minute. Alex, where's Jay on? Really haven't talked about that.
He is on,
What do you say?
Where is he?
Here. He's not in here. He must have his own Discord or something.
So I'm thinking maybe they're on the. Oh no, they're not. As I'm scrolling through right here, it looks like nobody is on for the team channels. If I'm being honest, you got
Well,
a
they
couple.
probably got their own channel. Their own channels, they stick in those, and which is now the Cup Series does have another. Great Lakes does, but I was looking there, and there's nobody in yet. I was just gonna...
Yeah, I looked there too. I didn't see nothing.
Got some passes going on here. Looks like some guys on newer tires just came in to lap down machine. 99 machine right there. That's Spencer. So we got a good battle going on here around by 5th place. 5th spot.
Yeah, I was looking up on the scoreboard a couple seconds ago when I saw that Tankersley and Stewart and Dickinson were having a nice little battle going on right here, and Jacob Manning. We're having a nice little battle going on as they're pushing. I wasn't quite 3 wide. I thought it might have got to that point, but it wasn't. So,
And 3 wide.
Yeah, I know. It obviously didn't work earlier, so hopefully they're going to try and stay away from it as much as they can. But these guys have just been grinding out. They got Jacob Bransky coming up right there, right behind these guys, and his new. I got to think of a different word that's not psychedelic. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to call his machine now.
Pretty.
Yeah, we can call it pretty. That's fine.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it does look good. He's watching that battle in front of him there between Spencer and Jacob. Those guys kind of hooked up side by side. Now, this place, from what I can see here, yeah, it looks a little tough to pass. Looks a little one groove style. See right there, that car just gets a little bit unstable because it just shoot up the track. And then you can see just a little bit unstable, and that just opens the door up there for Jacob. He's going to shoot down the inside. Yeah,
he is. And Jacob was battling back there for about that 10th place spot. He's got Shane Nicewanger right behind him in that Natty Light machine. As we're looking at, was that Chris Heller right there in the 11?
Christopher.
Yeah, there we go. As he was having a good night the other night.
He was having an excellent night the other night. Good run by him. Some tracks guys really love. Some tracks, man, guys just don't like too well. And tonight it looks like these tracks that Christopher can we just get on away from it.
Yeah, and I mean you get that everywhere. You get guys that are good at mile and a half. You get guys that are great at short tracks. You get them that are great at road courses. The guys that are good at super speedways and longer tracks like that. So usually that's just kind of how it rolls. I mean, as long as you survive the race, that's better than DNF, because you know that I'm pretty sure they do not have a. Do they have? No, is it this one or?
Not in this one.
Yeah, no fast fix in this one.
Fast fix. Gotta be careful. Punched up. Now, it's being a short track, aerodynamics not too much important. But I mean, want to be a little careful. But you could get a little fender rub here, not be too bad off.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, because we were at Richmond on Tuesday, so it's kind of good. Not good. It's kind of cool how these guys rolled into a track that's pretty similar, because I just feel like this track is a little bit smaller of a level than Richmond. Definitely similar in characteristics and whatnot, so that helps out a little bit. But these guys are running pretty good here this evening for this race here at Iowa, man. So that's definitely awesome to see, and how these guys make it go. And I just want to say again, always, pretty much every week, let everyone know that this is a great league. Got a bunch of great admins and whatnot. They help me out a lot, as well as yourself, Joe. You help me out a lot, seeing as I still don't have iRacing, and you do a great job of making sure that I can get on to be on here with you and streaming this so I can get on there with you. So thank you, and thank you to these guys again, making sure that they put on a good league and try and make everything as fair as possible. These admins put in work, especially after these last couple races. They've been putting in work here in the Great Lakes League, not just a Cup Series, but also here the Truck Series, and so they're putting in work and they're doing a great job of keeping it rolling. So, and these drivers are just so competitive and so nice and welcoming. So just appreciate all that coming and whatnot. As we got a nice race here this evening at Iowa. We got some nice lights though, but the sun's still out there. So,
You know, and I don't even know if they run the Cup cars here in real life anymore. I think they run the trucks. And could be wrong on that one there too, but you're right to do have the lights. Or it could. Oh, there's good battle going on right here where you've got Lee, Jacob Manning, Jacob Bransky there, and riding with Spencer here as he sees a whole slew of in front of him. He's about to get in the mix. So it's been a pretty good battle going in here around. That's about the 5th place.
So to hit on what you just said, who races here and whatnot really quick, I know exactly where that is right here, and it says usually they will race an IndyCar, an Xfinity Series, and a Camping World Truck Series race at Iowa Speedway. But this year, Iowa Speedway will not host IndyCar, Xfinity Series, or Camping World Truck Series for their 2021 seasons. So normally they're here, but this year they're not.
Pretty wide out of the turn. Don't see if it's going to work. They made it work. Looked like they got out of that real quick there. Still 3 wide behind them. Trouble right there real quick in a place like this. I mean, it's so wide. You would think that you can go 3 wide. And you're right. I do remember the Indy cars here. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never seen an Indy car race, I haven't. I think I've seen some. They flat fly around this track. Been a short track, so it's a wild thing. But that's right. I figured the trucks did. I wasn't sure about the Xfinity. Not sure about when the last time the Cup. But nonetheless, we got a good race going on here. I tell you, guys are kind of flirting with disaster there in that 3 wide a couple times.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and that's what you brought up and I brought up earlier. This track is deceivingly wide for how short. I mean, how wide the track is deceives how short the track is. You know what I mean? So, what does it kind of remind me of? It reminds me of one of the tracks we had a couple weeks ago. But these guys are having some pretty good battles as we got 3 wide again in the middle of the turn right here. Hopefully they make it work as they're coming off the corner right here on the front stretch. I don't know, man. That's a little
the contact there almost with the 49. That's Shane Nicewater. He almost got in the rear quarter panel there. Could have been disastrous.
Yeah, could have. And look who's right behind him, his team owner, Elliot Henderson, right there, running the low line with him. So Elliot's slowly creeping up there, as I feel like we've been running forever and we're just past 1/3 of the way pretty much, but we're looking to get some green flag stops here soon if we haven't gotten any yet, as Shane got a little squirrely coming off it too.
Yeah, about to get halfway here, and you're right, you got Elliot right there on the outside, and Shane getting a little bit sideways there. You got a bunch of guys, but now's the time when you're going to start seeing guys that are pretty much better on the long run than they were on the short run, because, like I said, pit stops start to be happening between 60 and 70. We're at lap, 66. That this man, though, has got a 4-second lead over Daniel Nanny, and he needs it. He needs all the points he can get, because Elliot Henderson, he comes in here 29 points behind Elliott, so he definitely wants to maximize points. I'm not quite sure. I'd love to hear maybe if somebody out there in the league. What happened to Elliott? Was it by design that he started in the back? You know, some drivers just like that challenge. I used to have a guy that raced every week, Alex, He didn't want to qualify. He wanted to start in the back every week. And I'm going to tell you what, by the end of the race, he was up front. So he just loved that challenge of coming through the field.
Yeah, I think that's personally a fun little challenge. You can view it as a challenge. You can view it a bunch of different ways. But, I mean, usually we see Elliott qualifying both in the Truck Series and in the Cup Series pretty much front row, if my recollection is correct. So maybe that's what he did. Who knows? But he's doing a pretty good job of making his way up through the field because he's already in that 9th place position. And as we're closing in on about halfway done with this race. So, but I'm expecting some green flag pit stops to happen. I expected some to happen already personally, but if not now, then very soon, I'll tell you that, because these guys are nearing the end of their fuel window from what I was told. So
a new guy right here, Landon Huffman. That name.
I do not either. Let me take a quick peek right here.
Well, I'm looking at his I ratings. I kind of call my eye to who he is. He's back here in 11th. He has a 6,700 I rating. I know we talked about this the other week.
Yeah, we did on Sunday.
That's high. He's up there in the pro caliber I rating, so to speak. Didn't have a pro license on it because it doesn't say, but I've just never name out here. And we do have some. Thought was having some pit stops there. Looks like Jeff Ryan's on pit road, but just kind of caught my eye. Actually, highest out there. I mean, you've got Spencer, Jacob, Elliott, RJ, all in the 4s. Got several 3s, several 2s. Yeah, kind of a name I haven't heard of.
I haven't either, and I'm looking at the numbers list here for the league, and I do not see a name next to the 75 slot, so maybe he's a new addition to the league. I'm not quite sure. Like you said, that's a new name. I ain't seen it before, so
League.
I don't know.
Right now, good run. We've had a very nice, good long green flag run. We should be getting green flag pit stops now. Obviously, when they tell us 60 to 70 laps, that's kind of a average of what it is. I've been fooled many a times because we're already at 70. Chart said between fuel window 60 to 70. Got to remember though, they had a couple cautions there, so those couple cautions, you can already see is going to help them out. Might have, allowed them to extend this pit stop out by maybe about 10 laps or so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, along with you, is those 2 cautions we've had, right, 2 cautions that we've had.
Yep.
Kind of prolonged their fuel window a little bit.
In.
Here we go.
I think he's going to bring the field with him here. I think, or a lot of guys are going to come on down pit road with him. And, you do see a lot of them coming down on pit road. Some still stay out, but yeah, I think with that, I think the cautions help him extend this pit cycle. If not, I think it probably would have fell around lap 70.
Got someone out there. Adrian Son said, "Great race so far. Rooting for the 07 Mellow Yellow car. Also great." Announcing.
That would be Sean. That would be Shane Posse. Mellow Yellow. 07. He's on pit road right now.
I was just listening to the Dale Jr. download with Jerry Glanville.
Okay.
Who, I don't know if you remember that name, Joe. I just learned about it, obviously, when I was listening to it the other day, because I like listening to the Dale Jr. download. Do you know the name? Jerry Glanville?
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
So, he's done a bunch of random stuff. I mean, he was in the NASCAR for a little bit. I believe, if I don't quote me, but I believe if I'm correct, he started off in ARCA, and then someone, I don't know if it was who it was, pushed for him to get into a Busch Series car at the time. It might have been Kyle Petty. Big question mark on it. I don't exactly remember, but he did. Crap, where was I going with this?
No clue.
I don't remember.
I do know the guy we're looking at right now, Tommy Ryan. And Tommy out there, I do know, I've not seen him in the league here. So maybe his first time out. But Tommy, definitely, I've seen him race many other leagues and series. Definitely knows how to wheel one of these machines around the track.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, definitely. I don't remember this name that much
Yellow
either.
flag.
Oh, and here's the caution. Caution
Well, that's
number
going to
3.
catch some guys off guard. Let's go back and watch that. It says Eric involved. Back and what? Oh, the 8 machine got up involved, and the next thing you know, Eric's there, and then you just got up. Let's see, Randy Yoakum. Randy Yoakum coming out. Got into Shane. Shane came down just a little bit. Car just trying to take the same space at the same time. And then he just got destroyed.
Chris Heller almost got in there. He did a good job of avoiding that if what I saw was right. Oh, but the reason why I was bringing up Jerry Glanville was because of that.
Watch this replay. Like Shane got together at the same time, and unfortunate. Right there, you see the 29 fall hard. That point on, and Randy was okay until there. William Barb nowhere to go. Kind of. Yeah, you see, there's Christopher Heller. He just slammed on the brakes, kind of made it through it. That was funny.
Yeah, he turned that thing sideways to get out of it.
RJ's coming back on pit road. I don't think Williams still might have got lucky on that deal there. Williams didn't catch him a lap down. Guys might have got caught a lap down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, because we got a lot of guys right here.
RJ's damage?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he did. He got some right side damage. Not quite. I don't remember him coming through there on the caution, but let's back on the replay here and see. Right behind William Barb, so it's very, very well that he might have got a little bit from that. Yeah, he's right behind William Barb. We saw Barb catch Randy, unfortunately. Probably see the wreck in front of him. Watch this replay one time again. Yeah, RJ, oh, there it is. He just barely got clipped. Wow. Maybe.
That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. He's obviously going to try to get that thing fixed up. Under this caution, you see it right there on the front fender. As long as into any suspension damage, but not what he wanted. Puts Jacob Manning out front. Elliott Henderson avoided all. But just like that, man, the luck of RJ, man, out here dominating the race, and then next thing you know, wham, nowhere to go. And, obviously last weekend, he was one of the ones that got disconnected.
On Tuesday as well.
Yeah, so his week is just not what he wanted so far.
Yeah, and I mean, in both of those races, he has been a strong contending car/truck. So I mean, he's doing a great job of staying consistent, at least, not letting those situations get the best of him and driving like a chicken with his head cut off and all that jazz. So he's been doing a really good job this evening. Very dominant race so far for him, but he's over there just getting a little bit of damage fixed up, and hopefully he's out here pretty soon.
Hey, it went down. Unfortunately, it's going to be 2 laps down right now, unfortunately, on his end. But, wow, huge one right there. Just when green flag pit stops were taking place. Still doesn't really affect the pit stop strategy any, because obviously they were in the middle of a lot of the green flag stops. A lot of the guys had already taken their stops. So, under caution, lap 88 here, we had a very long, good green flag run. They taking another good long green flag run. We could take it to the end probably.
Yeah, they did, and that comes with me talking about the competitiveness of the league. A lot of these guys do a great job of keeping their noses clean and all that jazz here in this league, and I think they do a great job of it. So that's what gets us these exciting long green flag runs and keeps the league going nice and smooth, kind of like this. So that's always nice to see, as we got Jacob Manning and Brandon Barkeski here front row again.
Dude. Lights off on the pace car. We're going back green.
Pace car shuts off the lights.
Been a good one so far. Now see, I hope I say Adrian. I'm gonna say Adrian. She said, also great announcing as always, and I guess giving us a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Let's see, tough break. Anyone dressing up to go four wide. Well, you know, you bring that up there, Adrian. This track is wide enough to do it. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't, but then again, let's see.
Yeah, I would, I'm just going to chalk that up to, I don't know. As we go back green, as we got some new people up front. Here we got Jacob Manning, Brandon Barkeski right there, as Jacob kind of just goes ahead. And is that Elliot Henderson up by the wall?
And it does look like Elliott up there in the wall. It is. He got shuffled up there just a little bit. Now he's going to try to battle himself back to the middle. This is kind of what happens on a track where it's very tough to pass as it goes along. Get these new tires, you try to get everything you can, and this is the kind of racing you get on the restarts. Guys are 2 and 3 wide out here, just trying to get all they can get, and sometimes it's where, you know, cautions breed cautions.
Yeah, that's true, and usually you see Elliott doing that kind of stuff. Elliott's usually very daring, I'll say, on restarts. He just puts his car or truck where it needs to go, and he usually makes it work out. But looks like he got a little bit of the reverse happened to him a little bit, but I mean, he still did a great job coming up from where he was in the back. As you got Brandon Barkeski, Jacob Manning, who's that Zachary Durr right there.
Yep, Matthew Durr right there hanging on the third. Jacob Manning there in second. We're seeing Brandon taking over the lead. Longer hanging on. Got lap machines right there in the mix at 33 and all the 44 up there. And you see Christopher Heller, those guys all lap down, trying to see if they can get maybe a lucky dog here, something happens and whatnot. Hanging on the third, Scott. We talking about that Landon guy there. Look at him. Up to 6. He was back in about the 15th place spot earlier. He's up to 6.
Yeah, it was. Looks like he caught a nice little break off of those pit stops and that caution. So, looks like he's sitting pretty for himself. I mean, you said because based off of what we said, that's a pretty high rating he's got right there. Based off of what you ran me through last Sunday evening, talking about the the Sim 500 league, but so his iRacing rating seems like you're saying it's up, definitely up there. So
yeah, good race right here. You see the lap cars are mixed in. You see Landon's coming utilizing that low line. Matthews right there, who we're looking at, but he's up top. He's got that damage. It's probably going to hinder him just a little bit. You see Landon right down on the bottom, up behind the lap car. The lap car's going to utilize that low line, and it's just got to be patient here. This is where you got to be as a driver. You got to, okay, I got to understand the situation. Two drivers there are kind of equal unless I get the opportunity to go around them. Then he's got to hope the guys behind him, like Spencer, are patient too. That's you can't control what they do, but yeah, here's where you, as a driver, you really got to just be patient, and kind of keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, there's so much going on around you. I mean, you got people in so many different situations around you, and compared to how you are, I mean, you're right here running in with Scott Stewart and Matthew Durr right there, and you got a bunch of guys around you that are fighting for lap position and all that jazz. As we got Brandon Barkowski pulling away a little bit. He's nearing a second and a half or so right now, lead right up front.
There's still good battle right here, though.
Yeah, these guys have just been going at it the last couple laps. I mean, and they are just still going.
There's Elliott. He came back. Yeah. He coming flying back up to there. So what he can do.
Yeah, he is. He's got Jacob Bransky right there with him. So maybe, as Jacob Bransky gets the door shut on him by that 45 machine of Daniel Nanny. So let's see if Daniel can hook on with Elliott and they can just keep going, because Daniel Nanny's a pretty consistent dude here in this league. So maybe he'll just hop on as Elliott's closing in.
Now you see what Landon did right there. He was patient enough to wait when those cars got split up. He was able to get it. Now he was able to get down to the inside of both of that machine. Let's see if he's able to clear them now and try to run down the leaders, but definitely showing some very good patience. Let's see what Elliott will do back here now, because, he's got a fast machine. He understands the situation, but sometimes you just got to let things kind of work out in front of you. And I know they're on the radio probably yelling like, look, y'all need to get out of the way.
I bet they are, but that level of patience comes with experience, which I think a lot of these guys definitely have. I mean, coming from my level of experience, which is literally 0. So, but I think a lot of these guys understand that concept, and they're doing a great job. As we still got nice battles going on here about that 8th, 9th, 10th position over here. Yeah, so these guys a lot of guys are fighting for this top 10 position right here. As you got Jacob Bransky right there, Matthew Durr, and Tommy Ryan. I wanted to say Justin for some reason, but I had checked myself.
Yeah. Out of the pit's looking good. He's up to 9th so far. So, like I said before, he knows how to wheel these things around. His teammate there, Randy Yoakum, unfortunately, one that got caught up in the wreck earlier on. But right now, as you see Landon, he is the man on the move right now. Him and Elliott. And you just see just how slick this track can get. Elliott thought about 3 wide, and he said, you know what, I'm going to ride behind him for a little bit. Might not be the best idea.
Yeah, it looked like that could have caused some trouble, especially now that he's right on Landon's rear bumper right here. And he is bringing Daniel Nanny with him. Daniel Nanny's just kind of chilling, hanging out right behind, following Elliott his way up through the pack. So these guys are just kind of making their way up there.
That's a lap car up there at the top. Well, look at Daniel Nanny getting really aggressive there, trying to look on the low line. Can't go up underneath old Elliott there. So you got some heavy hitters as Brandon right now got a solid second lead over Shane Nicemonger, who's sitting in second. But boy, he's got company coming. two or three mean machines right there of old Landon and Elliott.
Yeah, and here's another thing I want to bring up is the level of, we talked about it the other day, is consistency. And a lot of the times I talk about him in the Truck Series on Tuesday nights, but I'll talk about him again here in the Cup Series. Is Shane Nicewanger, Chase Ninewanger, Shane Nicewanger,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, blah is he's a very consistent driver, and I think either in one of the leagues or both of the leagues here sometime soon, he's going to come out with a win under his belt. He is very consistent. He is always in contention here at any of the tracks you bring him to, and I think he gets overlooked a little bit. I usually call him the sleeper of the group, but here he is sitting nice in second as he's about to get his hands full to hold off these guys chugging up through the field to fight to get up to that lead. So
Yeah, you see Jacob right there in the ninth place. Laps down. He's up there running 15th spot as they go around him. Hanging back. Spencer's hanging on there at the 10th place spot. As up front is still all Brandon Perkuski. Got a 1.9 second lead over Shane Nicewanger. Just look at the lap times. He ran a 24:21. Actually a little bit faster. He ran the same lap time that Elliott did, and Elliott and Landon ran a 24:29. So all those guys are within about 8 thousandths of a second of each other. Shane Nicewanger's probably the one there that's a little bit off. He ran a 24:40, so he's about 2/10 off. So it won't take long for those guys to kind of follow him. Daniel Nanny right here though, and look at Tommy Ryan. I told you, hang on to it. Tommy's right there. Now I know why Tommy's not in. Showing up in a team chat. He has his own Discord channel there, and he's probably out with John T. Wimbish. Oh, you can see these cars are getting loose. Wow.
yeah, and these guys are maybe about nearing halfway of their pit window, I would say, based off of when they started coming in versus when I was expecting them to. But those cautions helped them out a little
84?
bit.
Let's see. Most of them pitted at lap 78 to 84. 86 for Elliott. That's why he's a lot faster than Landon. Landon pitted at 78. Elliott pitted at 86. Daniel pitted at 85. So that's why they're a tad faster, and that's why Brandon, he pitted at lap 84. So if we go off of what they did before, 70, let's say 60 laps. I want to say they're going to have to pit again, but then again, I'm going to say no. It'd be close. If it goes green, that is.
Yeah, if it goes green, I probably would not expect people to pit. But if there's a caution, pretty much any time in between now and the end of the race, well, maybe with maybe 15 or 20 laps to go or so, I don't know, but I would probably pit if there was a caution, and I would have the whole field probably would do as such, so just to get your car to the best point that they can. So because I'm pretty sure everyone's got at least one set of tires left, if not two, because I don't know if I don't know if that 3 counts, the one that they start on, or not. I don't think it does, though. Right?
It doesn't count. It's actually 3 plus the one they got. So.
Okay, yeah. So these guys got 2 in the bag. So
usually that's how it works.
Yeah. So these guys got those 2 in the bag. So as you got Elliott and Justin, is that right?
Elliott and Landon right there battling each other. You see them, they finally run up on Shane, but you got to look. Remember, Shane, Landon pitted on lap 77, 78. Elliott and Daniel right there lap 86 and 80. Now, the biggest thing with a track like this, track position probably is king, because after a while, those tires will kind of just level off. But you can see Elliott's still going to get the drive on him. Now, we're going to be coming up to about 25 to go, and I'm with you on what you just said. If a caution came out at this point, I might would do it. Oh, contact between the two, just kind of a little rubbing there on some short track racing. I love it. But I'm with you if there is a little bit of and Elliott, man, almost loses this. So that tells me that inside lane might not be the passing lane if you can't get it done quick. Don't run down there too long. But it's going to get to a point where if a caution was to fly, you're going to have to make a decision if you're up front. Do I want to give up that track position, and then do I have enough time to come through the field? That's another thing you got to think about.
Yeah, and these guys are just hopping back up top in that middle-ish groove, is Landon right there is kind of running middle or low middle pretty much, but yeah, Elliott got real squirrely, and I saw that number 99 machine right there.
Tommy Ryan.
Tommy Ryan he kind of shot down to the bottom a little bit. I think it was on the front straightaway, and then when he was coming back up, he just he lost it a little bit. So he was pretty loose with that. So maybe you're right. That line is looking like it's going to be pretty much dough for the rest of. I mean, I don't know if the rest of the race, but it looks like it might be a challenge pretty much to make it a passing lane.
Battle on the track. This is for actually third on back right now. You can see Nicemonger's trying to hold them off. You can see those guys are a lot faster than Shane, but it's just so tough to pass here to get around on that low line. Shane's just not going to give up the preferred line, which is, his right to do. But these guys behind him, at some point, that patience is going to wear out. And, hey, it is a short track. Pump and run. It is a fast short track, though. Isn't it? Talk about a fast short track.
Yeah, it is. And talking about it earlier, when you brought up the Indy cars here, the track record here for the Indy cars is it's a 17.2 lap record. So.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, that's real quick. But it looks like Shane's holding these guys off pretty well, because these guys were chugging through the field pretty well, and
well, they're being respectful. I mean, they understand they're a lot faster than sparks flying. They're being very respectful there in the fact of they don't want to run him over, don't want to move him out of the way. I should still let him go. They're going to try to pass him the best that they can. You see the battle right here with Elliott and Landon. Tires on Landon. That's going to go away as we're riding with Daniel. He's been very patient here, just watching. The guy that's loving the battling, though, the man up front, that's Brandon Pekuski. He's loving, and Shane Nicemonger. Those two guys, well, Shane's second. Brandon is the man who's really loving it right now.
Yeah, he is. He's just been extending that lead. He's nearing, what is that, 3.5 seconds or so he's sitting at right now?
Yep.
So he is
almost
just... Yeah, and with coming up to 20 laps to go or so, that would be a hefty lead to bite into if you were these guys. So
Elliott drove it in there that time, and I think he understands the urgency to try to get around Shane, and he's going to try to maybe use that lap car. He's able to get it. He was able to stuff it right there, but not able to hold it. And I think Shane might have felt a little bit passion right there, because he probably could have run over Elliott at that point.
Yeah, he could have. And Elliott finally making the pass on.
Now, we'll say this. Shane is a teammate. Shane did his job. He held those other guys up long enough for Elliott to get around him. And, folks, I'm going to go ahead and I'll say it. They get mad at me for saying it. That's what team orders are right there. And that was a perfect textbook of what team was doing, because he was holding Tommy and Landon up long enough for Elliott to get there and Daniel to get there. And we saw that Shane could have very much went right back around Elliott again. But if he would have done that, it would have brought the other guys up there. So, again, guys, just seeing how I see.
Yeah, as we still got some of these nice battles going on pretty much through the third to, I'd say, the fifth.
Oh, Daniel right there, boy.
Yeah.
That's a good save.
Yeah, that's why I was going, because I was like, oh, is he going to lose it? But he does, and he saved it pretty well. So now it looks like Elliott has 18 laps right there to coming up to 17 to go to see if he can bite into that lead Brandon Barkowski has if we go green. But you know how it usually goes. If I keep talking, then usually one of those cautions comes down, just ruins everything I just said.
Well, if you look at the lap times, last time Brandon ran a 24:52 to 24:40. Elliott. If Elliott keeps the pace he's going right now, no, he ain't catching it. I mean, he's going to have to start knocking some time down. Time's running out with only 17 laps to go. You're only gaining, well, last time, 0.003 of a second a lap. No, you're not catching them because he's got over a 3-second lead.
Yeah, and I think based off of what I've seen the last 2 laps coming in with, as there's 15 to go, I don't know if Elliott's got it in him to make that up. It'll be pretty close, but these guys are still battling here pretty much through that 3rd to 6th position. These guys are going pretty nice with it and battling. Nice, you got Jacob Bransky making moves right there on Scott Stewart. So maybe that's why he's got the Scott's turf fertilizer for his sponsor on his car right there. So his Scott also happens to be my middle name. So
having a good run up at night.
Yeah, he is.
Some of the other guys are here. Unfortunately, RJ way back in 20th, just not the night he wanted. Rough last couple weeks there for him and whatnot. Dominating out front, got caught up in a mishap. Some of the other runners here, Shane Posse, way back in 28th. Unfortunately, actually, he's out of the race tonight. Heller's been able to battle back up to 14th, though, but a good battle here around about these guys. And then still trying to work over Daniel. Them two guys been going at each other for the last several laps.
Yeah, they have. And just looking at both of them right there, they were both looking like they were getting a little loose coming off that corner. So these guys, I mean, they're going to have to do some good stuff to keep these cars under wraps, because we've seen it a couple times here, and I'd say the last 15 laps before this or so, where people are getting pretty loose and having to fight those cars. So they're going to have to fight these cars to the end of the race, some of these guys, and especially some of these guys up front. Who knows whether or not they're going to be able to keep it going, or something's going to happen. Who knows, as they're closing in on Shane here, looking for that 4th place spot.
I see Tommy hanging on to 3rd, Elliott right there in the 2nd place. And just to give you an idea, he's not gaining any on Brandon. Brandon has picked it up. Actually, Brandon ran a 24.9 to 20. And looking here, Brandon right now doing pretty good.
Yeah, Brandon's been having a very up and down season. I'd say both here in the in the Cup Series and in the Truck Series. He's been in a lot of those situations where it's like, oh, it looks like he was just kind of caught up in the mix, you know, one of those, oh, hey, he ain't got nowhere to go. But it looks like he is just sailing that car home this evening with coming up to 7 laps to go. He still got over a 3-second lead over Elliott right there in 2nd place. So he's doing a pretty good job of holding them off and showing that he can hang with the big dogs up front.
Landon right there is going to push as much as he can to go up, and he's going to clear him. Shane's going to fall back to 5th. It's going to bring Daniel right around with him, maybe 2. We'll have to see. Finally makes that pass up to 4. So, see, Daniel had to chase that car down the track. Jacob goes, thank you. Got 6 to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I was trying to figure out who you were talking about for a second. I was like, oh, he's right there in front of my face. And
Oh, Daniel on the wall. That thing got all kind of squirrely on him. Jacob able to make it around. Yeah, those tires are probably shot on Daniel's car. You can see it right now. He's just holding on to that thing for dear life.
yeah, he is, and that comes with these guys having to fight him a little bit for the rest of this race. Here's the leader right here, Brandon Barkuski, with his sponsor, his Twitch, Brandon Barkuski.
Right.
So
check him out. He's probably out there hooping and hollering right now, folks, if you're watching. Got a good lead, too. He's still got a 3-second lead. Elliott's just not going to be able to run him down, who has actually done a great job. Came from the back all the way to the front. He's had a few things go right. Tommy Ryan, again, I'm going to say this is Tommy's first race here in the series. I have not seen him run in this series. I do know that he runs definitely fast. Several other series up to a third right now, and you got Landon hanging on the fourth. Now, run down Tommy. He's got time to do it. Let's see. I don't know. They pretty dead even. Tommy ran a 68 to his 65, so it's only about 3 thousandths different. He'd have to pick up a lot more pace.
Yeah, it looks like he is probably not going to secure that third place spot as we are nearing 1 lap to go, as it looks like Brandon Barkuski's about to take that white flag, and he does. And he's just got a smooth sail back to the start-finish line to finish this race.
You know what I
Obviously.
say? White flags out. They can kill themselves. Doesn't matter what happens on this point here. Won't be any cautions. Out of turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Brandon Barkuski done an outstanding job of putting himself in the position and is going to bring it home here tonight. Elliott Henderson's going to come home in second. Tommy Ryan is going to drive their car home to third. What a good finish to this race here.
Yeah, and these guys kept it pretty clean throughout the entirety of this race. So hats off to all these guys in the league, making this race a nice, fun, entertaining race for everyone who's tuning in, watching this evening. And I'm excited to talk to Tommy Ryan right here. I don't think I've ever even said his name before, so I'm excited to talk to him as he got a nice third place finish.
Yeah, he's definitely fast and, wow, so he knows how to get it done.
Is this his debut in the Cup Series for us?
I'm going to say it's his debut. Maybe that's something to ask him there. If it is, I'm not, but I'm going to say. Well, let's bring up at least the second place man here until we give him time to jump up in.
Hey, Elliot, it's Alex up in the booth. You got me?
What's going on, Alex?
Hey, man. So let me just ask you real quick. We were kind of curious as to why you were starting there in the back, because usually you're starting front row or so. Was it kind of like, hey, let me start in the back and see if I can make my way through the field, or how'd that work out for you?
Well, I qualified 13th, not too bad. I'm not good at qualifying at this track. It's pretty awkward. And I messed up the first lap, which ultimately messed up the second lap. So that was just poor qualifying on my part. And then I spun on the first lap. I kind of did like a lazy slide off 4 or the second lap, whatever it was, and that put me back to 30th. So it was not intentional, no. I wanted to be up in the top 10 all night. I feel like if I was there, I could have actually potentially won this thing. But then with that caution that came out, I had a 1/10 of a gallon of fuel left. So I was turning it off, but I figured I needed to pit just to make sure I didn't run out, which, ultimately I entered a closed pit, gave me a black flag, and I started at the rear for this final restart that happened. So I had to drive my way up from 15th, but it really was like 25th or 20th because of all the lap cars that were in between us. So it was a mess. But, Barkuski played the strategy perfect with me. He just had enough fuel to be able to go those extra caution laps. And, who knows? I may have not been able to clear him under green flag conditions. It's really tough to pass here. And we were wasting our stuff pretty hard just racing each other. So, kudos to him for playing the strategy right, making sure he had enough fuel to do it. But yeah, it sucks coming up a little bit short after having to drive through the field 3 different times or 2 different times throughout the race.
Yeah, and I mean, you had a super strong car the entirety of the evening. I mean, like you said, driving up through the field multiple times to make your way up front. And Joe and I were talking about it. We were kind of wondering if the pace that you had could have carried a little bit more in those closing, 18, 15 laps. If you could make a pass here to see if you could get up there with Brandon up front. But, I mean, nice job on you anyways for, like you said, making it up through the field as many times as you did and always having a strong car, putting on a show for everyone. And so anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this nice second place finish here at Iowa this evening?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could have contended with Brandon had we not restarted 18th or whatever it was there with 50 to go. But is what it is. Brandon did a great job and definitely deserves a win. He said he hasn't won since June, so hell of a drive by him to, land at the right point with that strategy call, and he had the car when it counted. As far as thanking, you guys for the broadcast, as always, phenomenal job. Can't wait to go back and rewatch it probably tonight after we all get off here and start chilling for the evening on a Saturday night. Thank you to Chris, Brandon, Sam, everybody else who makes Great Lakes Cup Series and all this stuff happen. Tonight was probably some of the most fun I had. They let Landon Huffman, Tommy Ryan, and a few other new guys in. So I love racing those guys. I've raced them in the past, and it was a lot of fun racing them with Shane and Daniel Nanny and those other guys for that second place run for a bit. I think that was probably one of the best battles that we had all night, and that was probably some of the most fun I've had in iRacing in a while. And then, all my teammates, Split Second Esports. For this one, it's Barb, Ty, Shane, and myself. We were all that showed up tonight. A bunch of people had plans and stuff. So thanks to those guys for showing up, for having some fun. I know Barb and Ty had a crappy night, but it was a lot of fun racing them towards the beginning of the race. And then Shane did a phenomenal job with a nice top 5 starting from 25th. So he did a great job tonight. So yeah, thanks to everybody at Split Second, EHR, and everybody that makes this thing run.
Awesome. Well, it's always nice to have you up here in the booth with us after a race and a nice podium finish. So hats off to you again for coming to the field as many times as you did and making the race exciting, especially like you said, with the debut of those couple guys coming in and having them and making the race a little bit more fun. So glad to have you up here with us. Congratulations on the second place finish, man.
Yeah, and in response to Joe from last week, you don't need to turn the computer off. Just make me kind of have to drive through the field 3 times, and maybe we won't win anymore. So, hats off to Barkowski for the strategy call. I thought we had it right too. If the caution came out a lap sooner, I would have been right there with him. But that's how it goes. Proud to finish second anyway, and proud to come up here and talk to you guys on weekly basis, and we'll keep it going.
There, Landon and Tommy. I know Tommy well, and you keep them guys up here. They might give you a little run there. And Brandon.
Oh yeah.
If RJ wouldn't have so many bad luck, he would be up there.
Yeah, Tommy's really fast. I'm glad they added him in. I don't think Landon's going to race too often because he's a busy guy, but hopefully he shows up for a few of these. He's tons of fun to race against. So I think the competitiveness is growing, and it's good. And this is a series that we wanted to grow it in to kind of ladder system up from trucks to cup and everything. So hopefully we get to see some really good battles for leads, and these 3-second finishes go away. We don't want Barkowski, myself, or anybody else driving off into the sunset. That's old.
All right, man. Tell you what, good run there tonight, Elliot.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Have fun with Brandon.
Yo, well, I tell you what, I didn't see Tommy, and Tommy probably doesn't have the Discord. Probably have to get up with him to get it, but nonetheless, we'll bring our winner up here. Brandon Barkowski, Joe in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, we got a copy, and we're finally not second in here, man. God,
man, I tell you, that's what I'm saying. You won it here tonight. Great pit strategy. Was able to get out front and get a huge lead there, and definitely hold them off. Now, Elliot was talking earlier. He thinks if he would have got a better pole or anyway, start, he might have been able to get up there a lot closer to you. But I don't know. I was watching the lap times, and y'all were pretty darn even.
Yeah, there was actually a time in that run where, I wasn't running as hard as I probably could have. I didn't want to burn the stuff up. And, there was a couple laps where I was watching the lap times and I was like, oh man, 37's coming. But I think we finally learned how to play his game a little bit. But definitely, I think if Elliott was about a row up, I think it would have been a race. There's no question. I think if you look at the lap times, the last 15 laps, I wasn't even the fastest car all night long, though. I think RJ definitely was. Unfortunately, he got caught up into some attrition, and I got a great teammate, Chris Heller, man. He was the kind of the one who put me on this kind of out of sequence strategy. I got to qualifying late. I didn't qualify. Decided to pit on the second caution, and that made me run it out. And we caught the caution as a leader, and it was home sailing from there. And one thing about Chris is an amazing teammate, and I'm telling you, I have 2 wins now in Great Lakes. I've won in the trucks before. I mean, his win is coming, because I don't know if you guys saw that Richmond race before everybody liked that. Yeah. He was by far the class of the field. And
I really think if they would have just let that one go out, I think he might have came up there and probably would have eventually been one of the tops, or if not.
Yeah, and a lot of this win's going to go with Chris. We actually changed our team name now to 2511. We're 2511 Racing, so we're trying to do some good things here. And Chris is an awesome dude. I know his parents watch all the time. Chris is doing a lot for the Great Lakes. He's commanded a really, really, really solid Cup League here. What do we have? 2 cautions and 150 laps on a short track. Yeah,
but still really real. I mean, like you just said, really good.
Yeah, his win is definitely coming. Like I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen one of these weeks, and I'm just excited now. We got a win. We got playoffs coming up, and yeah, definitely going to be drinking some Miller Lights tonight, Jeff.
Well, like you said, you got the playoffs in another couple of weeks coming up, but tonight, and I got to go back to, I think maybe one of the things there on Elliott's end, I know the strategy of team, using the team orders, helping out your team on track, but I think Shane Nicewanger right there by trying to help Elliott might have helped him out a little too long. And then the long shot, man, got you further and further out. Because I know you was loving what you're seeing in your rearview mirror, those guys battling, because you're just walking off in the sunset. Got to say, though, next week, if I'm not mistaken, we got the All-Star race. I think it's next week.
Yeah, I think we're going to the iRacing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to bring up. It was supposed to be Eldora, and I was telling Alex about it. But we're going to the big super speedway. You talk about Christopher being the first win. Anytime you go to a super speedway, anybody can win those races. Those are just kind of wild card races. So might happen then. What's your kind of thoughts on going to that place? Because it's pretty much just flat out hang on.
Yeah, I think everybody better just start saying their prayers now, to be honest with you. Anything can really happen there. But I think what we're going to work on this week is putting together some kind of a money pot. We're going to take some donations. Everybody throw some money in the pot, and we'll make it real interesting next Saturday night, man. People might be banging a little bit coming to the line there for some cash.
Absolutely. Man, you put in victory lane here tonight at Iowa. You got anybody you want to thank for it?
Yeah, random. I don't know if he's watching or not, but Jake Miller in another league. He dominated this race when he was my teammate one time. So this goes out to Jake, man. I'm happy to repeat and kind of get that old team companionship and win at Iowa again. Kind of repeat it. I kind of used the same line he did at the end of the run. I kind of moved from the middle down to wrap in the bottom, and I'm telling you, it really works here on the long run. You just wrap that thing like it's Richmond, and you just fly. It's unreal. So definitely thanks to him. He taught me that way back in the summer last year, and it worked dividends today.
Like what you just said right there, I did reference this track. It looked a little bit like what Richmond was. Didn't know a lot about Iowa and so forth, but I watched the lines, and it looks like that's what was happening on the front stretch. But, man, I tell you what, Brandon, congratulations on that win. And, again, it was an awesome finish for you.
Yeah, thank you guys. And obviously we'll see you guys Tuesday and Saturday next week. So keep up the good broadcasts. Love you guys. And hopefully I can get back up here again with the win. And let's get Heller up here soon, man, because that guy's win is coming for real. But take care, guys, and have a good night.
Yo, man, put in victory lane here tonight. And I tell you what, Alex, what a run there. What an exciting guy. Like you said, man, that's what it's all about with the teams out there. Sometimes, it works for you. Sometimes it don't. But we're going to leave Iowa here. Alex, it was an awesome one for myself here and everybody at the Great Lakes. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Everyone, have a good Saturday.